I will never look at milk the same. The way that Homelander drinks the milk is just next level.
Starlight and Mother's Milk have their first bonding experience.
I don't like her. I don't. Hey guys, we're back with another The Boys video, and this is going to be a chit chat for season 2 episode 4. It's the breakdown, theories, and details that you may have missed. So let's jump right into it.
Just when you thought the milk couldn't get any worse.
Ew.
Yes, episode 4 of The Boys is here, and if you've ever wondered what it's like to make out with yourself, just remember. In this video, we're covering everything episode 4, the memes, the chocolate bars, and even the background actors.
Listen, if you're ever in the mood for another almond joy...
But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe, or else. Welcome to the worst dating site ever. No, not Tinder. The Deep is holding interviews for his new wife. We'll see a couple of these women being interviewed throughout the episode as part of the Church of the Collective's plan to clean up the Deep's image and get him back into the 7. With 8 Train now out and Starlight wanting out too, it's looking more and more like the Deep has a chance of getting back. Back at the boys' hideout, everyone is reeling from the events of last episode. Stormfront's attack ended up killing 59 people, but the media has spinned it to make it seem like it was all Kenji's fault. Kimiko's soup terrorist brother, who was radicalized by the Shining Light Liberation Army. And Frenchie,
I don't like Stormfront.
Don't go for a kiss when your girl is mourning. Denied. Homelander is pissed Stormfront is getting all the attention from the press. He's obsessed with being loved, something he didn't get as a child growing up as a Vought science experiment. He especially craves the love of a strong, take-charge woman, which is why he gravitates toward Madeline Stillwell, who he killed at the end of season 1. Now, I gotta admit, at first I thought this was some sort of dream or hallucination, but...
Okay, no, I 100% thought that Vought had some type of cloning machine, so I didn't even think about doppelganger. Legit, I thought it was her. I was even questioning myself. Austin and I were questioning whether or not like that happened, because I could remember that Homelander literally laser beamed into her eyeballs, just left her completely dead. So I started to like wonder if that had even happened at all, because I was convinced that this was her, this was Madeline. But no.
Homelander has a suit named Doppelganger morph into Madeline so he can satiate his desire for motherly love.
It was brutal.
And milk. Precious, precious milk. We last saw...
I will never look at milk the same. The way that Homelander drinks the milk is just next level. I have to hand it to the actor. He's really good.
Doppelganger in season 1, where he was used by Madeline to frame Senator Calhoun. Grace and Butcher meet outside a vigil for the 59 killed in the Stormfront attack. Fun fact, these scenes were shot a minute away from my home, so I went out and snapped this picture of what the real buildings look like. Grace talks about how she's haunted by the victims of soups who just stare at her wanting her to do something. Helping Butcher is her way of seeking some sort of redemption. She gives him the location of his wife, Becca, who's currently locked away in a Vought compound with Homelander's son, Ryan. They also discuss a, quote, second-tier soup from the 70s called Liberty, who may somehow be involved with Susan Raynor's exploding head. If you haven't checked out my episode 1 to 3 video, you'll want to check that out as I go over who this head-exploding soup could be. Homelander and Madeline relax to a romantic movie, Taxi Driver.
Talking to me?
And in the episode trivia, it says that Homelander finds De Niro's character Travis Bickle a role model. And if you've seen Taxi Driver, that's saying something. I also couldn't help but feel the scene where Kimiko attempts to assassinate Stormfront is crazy similar to Travis Bickle's attempted assassination of Senator Palantine. In both cases, the assassinations never occur. Homelander is pissed. His identity has always centered around him being the face of the 7, but that's slowly being eroded. If that's going to change, he'll need to...
Dare I breathe?
Butcher tasks Mother's Milk with going after Liberty while he goes after Becca. If they can get more info on this Liberty soup, maybe Grace can pull some strings and reunite him with his family. Homelander nearly kills Starlight after her hesitance to kill Hugh last episode. She ends up telling him the truth, that she loved Hugh but he broke her heart and now wants to blow his face off. Bonus points if you notice this takes place on the 69th floor.
Nice.
Black Noir gets more than 8
gosh.
seconds of
No, I
screen
did not
time using
notice
Annita
that.
to track down Butcher. She works in crime analytics, and you might remember her from episode 2 of season 1 being bullied by Homelander. We also learn a very important piece of information that Black Noir doesn't like Almond Joys, Jeffrey Dahmer's chocolate bar of choice. Starlight decides to come with Huey and Mother's Milk on their search for Liberty. She's still apprehensive about their decision last episode to release the story about Compound V.
We risked our lives just to make the world way worse.
She doesn't want to be around Homelander
That's not
or the
true.
Vought Tower, so she
The
comes
truth
along
came
for the
out.
ride, which includes Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire from an album called, get this, Stormfront. A-Train finds out he's being replaced due to his heart condition, potentially being replaced by Shockwave as long as he's not promoting anti-toddler obesity. This is really setting him up to join Starlight and the boys who he previously tried to stop from exposing Vought. But now that Vought has turned against him, all bets are off. There's also a fun little jab at Apple Plus and Disney Plus when Homelander says A-Train will get his own show on Vought Plus. And we know we're in the South with an anti-abortion soup billboard and a Homelander Confederate flag cape. A drunk Frenchie opens up to...
Wait, that baby you abort might be super. Oh, goodness. Okay, South. Got it.
Anti-abortion soup billboard and a Homelander Confederate flag cape. A drunk Frenchie opens up to
Automatically.
Sherry about his love for Kimiko. Sherry's name literally means darling in French, and we first saw her in episode 2 of season 1.
Sherry,
She says to
beautiful,
Frenchie,
beautiful
By saving
creature.
her, you can make amends for all the people you hurt, for those children that Lamplighter burned.
Frenchie was a member of the original Boys under Grace Mallory. He was responsible for stopping Lamplighter, but not before Lamplighter burned alive a bunch of kids. This, of course, was all covered up, and Lamplighter would later retire from the Seven, making room for Starlight to join. We haven't seen him yet this season, but Lamplight will be portrayed by Shawn Ashmore, which is
Who's
kind of
that?
interesting since in the X-Men films he plays Iceman. Starlight and Mother's Milk have their
No.
first bonding experience.
Oh my gosh!
Starlight to join. We haven't seen him yet this season, but Lamplight will be portrayed by Shawn Ashmore, which is kind of interesting
I love
since in the
his,
X-Men
like,
films he plays
maturity.
Iceman.
He matured very
Starlight
well.
and Mother's Milk have their first bonding experience. Starlight was never allowed sweets as a kid due to her overbearing stage mom. We also learn about Mother's Milk's father, a lawyer who tried to bring down Vought and worked so relentlessly he died of what my guess is heart disease. It's never really mentioned, but I don't get the feeling there's anything too nefarious here. Butcher is a...
Really? In that, I have to disagree. I think that it wasn't a soup necessarily, but I think it was Vought. Because, yes, he was a lawyer and he was coming after them. So, my guess is Vought didn't want anything getting out about their nefarious acts. So, they went after him. And again, I don't think that it was necessarily a soup that came after Mother Milk's father. I think it was Vought in one way or another. That's my theory.
secretly...
And if you guys have any theories yourselves, leave them down in the comments so that we can read them and expand.
his wife, where he learns she's been living on the compound since the birth of Homeland's son, Ryan. The only reason Homelander didn't kill Butcher at the end of season 1 was that she promised to kill herself in front of Ryan and say, "Your father did this to me."
Okay, my question is though, Becca's hair is completely different. So they're supposed to be on a, these are obviously, it's a TV show. I shouldn't overthink it. But if you look at her hair there, and then you look at her hair there, who's her hairdresser? Did she do this by herself? Does Vought hire people to come out there? Because they're secluded, like completely secluded. So, I don't know. Theories. let me know.
Homeland's son, Ryan. The only reason Homelander didn't kill Butcher at the end of season 1 was that she promised to kill herself in front of Ryan and say, "Your father did this to me," if Butcher was killed. We've seen how much Homelander yearns for the perfect son, but there's only so many times Becca can threaten him with that. Starlight and Huey get it on. There's been sexual tension building, but Starlight later tells Huey that their relationship can't continue.
We can't afford to feel good or to feel safe or to let our guard down.
Becca and Butcher also hook up and plan to escape, a plan that's short-lived when the very next day, Becca says she can't go through with it, exposing Butcher's feelings towards Ryan.
He's a fucking suit freak.
At the end of the day, Becca can't...
Yeah, if you call someone's son a suit freak, I don't think they're gonna take it too lightly, especially if you're trying to run away with them. So, maybe don't do that, Billy. Just a thought.
Her son, especially when it means he'd be raised by Vought and turned into another Homelander.
And then Vought raises him without a mother, right? Then we have Homelander all over again, then there's 2 fucking assholes in this world.
She believes she's the only one preventing that from happening. Homelander outs Maeve on live television when he's confronted with #HeroesSoWhite. We already know what Homelander thinks about diversity. He knows about Maeve's relationship with Elena, a relationship which Maeve said last episode if Homelander
Okay, so let's go back to this section.
HeroesSoWhite. We already know what Homelander thinks about diversity.
Okay, so spoilers ahead, obviously. This kid was doing like amazing sit, right? So he was like doing this ultimate course and he was awesome. He's blind, okay? And his superpower is that he hears very well. And so Homelander did not see this coming at all. Homelander decides to super slam his ears. This kid's ears, but his hearing was how he felt the world, and Homelander took that away from him. So just terrible, terrible scene. I could have cried.
He knows about Maeve's relationship with Elena, a relationship which Maeve said last episode if Homelander found out, he'd kill her. But Homelander seems to be taking it really well.
Honestly, Maeve, I am really happy for you.
Or not. Something tells me this isn't the last Homelander will bring
He's
this
like a
up. He winds up
sociopath.
watching a Stormfront rally, his blood boiling as she continues to get attention. She's using anger and emotion to get the people on her side. Remember,
Emotion sells. Anger sells.
the enemy here are these super terrorists, but the rhetoric here of scapegoating a specific group of people is highly indicative of what the Nazis did to the Jews. In fact, there are several connections between Stormfront and the Nazis. Not only is she a raging racist, but the name Stormfront also happens to be the leading internet forum for white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and Holocaust deniers. We later learn that Stormfront is indeed the Soup Liberty who went mysteriously missing for 30 years, after being involved in a hate crime that was covered up by Vought. This could mean she's the daughter or related to Frederick Vought, the Nazi who experimented on Jews at the Dachau concentration camp and who would later become the founder of Vought Industries.
Wait, why? Let's dig into
30
that.
years, after being involved in a hate crime that was covered up by Vought. This could mean she's the daughter or related to Frederick Vought, the Nazi who experimented on Jews at the Dachau concentration camp and who would later become the founder of Vought Industries.
Okay. So maybe it's the daughter, I don't know. But obviously she's got some sort of connection to Vought. She has to. Because, well, I guess all of the heroes have done one thing or another. But holy, you know? I don't like her. I don't.
Stormfront also doesn't age, just like in the comics, which Starlight suggests may be a result of continued use of Compound V, something she'd have access to if she were connected with Vought. Homelander is pissed at the amount of memes made about him. I've left a link where you can find all of them in the description. Here's one of my favorites. This spurs Homelander to finally confront Stormfront, and she knows exactly how to push his buttons.
This constant need to be loved by everyone is kind of pathetic.
This almost gets her lasered in too, but she says she knows what his problem is. He hasn't changed with the times like she has, a nod that she's Liberty. The United States isn't some homogenous group that once could be easily manipulated. Nowadays, not everyone is going to love you.
You don't need 50 million people to love you. You need 5 million people fucking pissed.
And really, she's talking about American politics today, where it seems the loudest voices in the room, the ones who cater to fear and emotion, are the ones who get the most headlines. She has 5 interns who she pays in Arby's cards to make memes, which does more damage than Homelander's multi-million-dollar marketing team. And I'm just gonna come right out and say it, but I think Homelander and Stormfront are gonna get it on. I mean, he does have a thing for older women, and she's probably like 70 plus now.
Oh, 100%. Ever since I laid eyes on her, this is it. This is it. She is his equal. Maeve, she cowers. Yes, she's powerful, but she's also terrified, absolutely terrified of Homelander. So I really think that this is Homelander's equal, but again, I do not like her. Emphasis, I do not like her. Just because she kills civilians for absolutely no reason. And I could argue that she's actually worse than Homelander. And I would find it to be correct. I would find that theory to be very much correct.
And here's where Homelander's character arc really changes. At the beginning of the episode, he lamented how no one loves him anymore, and he wants to get that feeling back. If he can put the 7 back in line and become the face of it again, everything should be fine. But when he finds out that isn't going to be possible, his mindset completely changes. Instead of wanting to be loved by everyone, he says,
I don't need everyone to love me.
Scary.
I don't need anyone.
This final scene where Doppelganger morphs into Homelander was one of my favorites in the episode. It allows Homelander to express his own feelings to his literal self.
You're pathetic.
When he says that, he's not saying it to Doppelganger, it's what he feels about himself. He's pathetic. Whereas in the beginning, he needed to feel that love from Madeline Stillwell, he now needs no one.
I don't need anyone but myself.
If you thought Homelander was a piece of shit before, how about Homelander who doesn't care about anyone or anything? He's not gonna give a fuck about anything anymore. The only
Okay, what really scares me is Homelander and Stormfront together as a couple. That is absolutely nightmarish. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely terrified of Stormfront and Homelander being together because they're just gonna feed into their egos and like their evilness, basically. Homelander might be a sociopath though, because he's really good at demonstrating emotion, but as soon as you turn around, he's like dead in the face. So I don't know, it's scary. He's so neurotic that you genuinely don't know. You don't know what's happening, what's going on, what is he gonna do next? And I don't know, there's just literally so much happening, and Vought is gonna have their hands full with these two, especially if they get together. That's just gonna be a lot. So, but let me know your comments down below. What are your theories? Because I mean, honestly, do you think that Stormfront is related to the founder? And if so, in what way? Like, is she the daughter? Could she be the wife even? I don't know. But these are also interesting. So definitely stay tuned for more because I absolutely am in love with this series. I want more. And the only reason that this show has even been getting bad reviews is because Amazon decided not to drop the entire season. And that's what everyone was expecting. We weren't expecting it to be a regular TV show. We were expecting to binge watch it. I personally would not, I wouldn't give it a bad review because it's such a good show. You can really see the script was well written and everything was thought out and planned out to the minute details, mind you. So I think it's a great series. It's got a great plot. And for some reason, this season, they just want us to hate Stormfront with a passion. So yes, obviously she's racist and we don't like her. We hate her for that, especially because she's targeting Black people. And when she was going after Kimiko's brother, she went out of her way to kill civilians, like I said in my last episode. But not just that, she went after them because of their race. And there's an encounter where she is talking to A-Train and she's being very condescending, basically saying you people. And that's not what she's saying. Those aren't her exact words, but that's how it comes off. And that's where A-Train is saying, do we have a problem? Who is this lady? What is she doing? So I personally didn't like her from the beginning. I don't like her now. And I don't think that this show can ever make me sympathize with her in any shape or form. If and when she dies, I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm not gonna cry. No tears will be shed on my part. So yes, but if you want to check this channel out, this specific channel of where this video came from, it will be linked in the description box below. It's called Think Story. So I love this channel. I've been watching their stuff, and so it's about time that we ended up doing some chit chats about it. So if you're watching this show, then let me know your thoughts, your theories, and everything. I want to know. Do you love this show as much as I do? Do you hate this show? Let me know, because this is how we start the conversation. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you would like to be a part of our family, connect with us on social media. Link is in the description box. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, pollitos!